Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 608 Chatterbox. I'm here with Dylan Woodruff and Enrique-Casique, aka Young Phyno and DMW. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us.
So, let's get straight into it. I know a lot of people are excited to ask you guys questions and are interested in knowing more about DMW and Young Phyno. So I guess my first question is, how did you each get into making music?
You wanna?
Well, I got into it. I was like writing music in like seventh grade. I think I recorded my first song I think maybe sophomore year, and it was just something I'd do. It's almost like an antidepressant. Like regardless of what I get back, it's what I'm giving to myself type thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I think sometime in high school I had planned on starting writing music and getting involved, but I was a little too shy. I didn't really have that many friends. Once we got out of high school, I started hanging out with old DMW over here a little bit more, and we got it started. Made the first track. It was really good, especially for my first time.
Definitely.
And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have to take this like really serious. I'm gonna have to go at it in full force. And here we are.
Awesome. And I just want to point out that Dylan DMW did start making music before Young Phyno. I'm almost positive you're the one that introduced making music to Enrique.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you exactly how it came up. Actually, he knew I was doing music with K. Capone, shout out Catisse, but yeah, he kind of hit me up on it. I didn't want to not take him serious, but it threw me off. I was like, I mean, if you're gonna put the time in, I'll give you the time of day to see where it goes. And it wasn't like I don't think you can do this. It threw me off, but I'm gonna give you the shot type thing. And we did Mile a Minute, which probably will be linked somewhere in this, but it was really good, especially for a first time. His biggest thing is what everyone tells me too, is confidence.
Yeah.
We both have the same issue we're trying to overcome.
Mm-hmm.
Do it together at this point.
I feel you. I guess that leads into the next question is, I guess this is a question for both of you. What kind of person do you think it takes to make music?
You said what kind of person?
Yeah.
I think you gotta wanna do it. I couldn't even tell you the artist's name. I don't know him personally, but I saw a Facebook post and he said, if you're making music to make money, you're gonna quit. And I agree 100% because you look at what you get from streams. Like it takes a crazy, underground status, crazy amount of streams to make a decent, like even just 3 figures, let alone into, 4, 5, 6, So you have to want to do it. I guess that's where it comes from. And you're going to hear shit from everyone,
Yeah.
It's where it's going to be like, oh, you don't want a yes man who's going to tell you everything you do is good. But if someone's just going to say you're ass and they clicked on it for 10 seconds just because it's ass, you don't want either of those around. You just have to believe in yourself when others don't.
What about you?
Can you repeat the question because the headset died?
So what kind of person do you think it takes to make music?
I would say somebody that's dedicated for sure, that's really passionate about their craft and really puts in the effort, because I don't think you can take anything, you can't do anything without having intention behind it. You have to have purpose in what you're doing. So I'd say anybody determined, passionate, and just really wants to explore something that they've been interested in.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting because both of you guys, I mean, you started with a song with DMW, and I guess that's how, this thing kind of just blew up. And I just want to point out, something that I got to witness is, this music equipment, this, I guess, what it takes to make a song isn't, financially cheap, but also it's complicated. It's, it's software. It's not just, equipment. It's not just downloading apps and stuff like that. It's also knowing what you're doing and knowing the right people to get you to what you want to do. All right. So my next question is I think this is a little bit more broader question. I guess you guys can both answer it in your own way, but how do you guys view the levels of talent in the music industry? So I'm gonna use an example. I know you guys are just beginners, but there's you guys, right? And then there's Drake, that's all the way at the top. How do you guys view the levels in between you guys and Drake?
I think, me personally, I know obviously he's at a much greater level. Everyone who's hit the industry is, and that's, I guess, again, where I say I'd do it out of a love of doing it. It'd be great to hit, not even a Drake point. It'd be great to hit some of these brand new artists you see. I mean, I even look locally, and it's like, they don't even know me personally. I'm just going to shout them out because I know them. But you see, like, P. Swervo, like, he blew up when he's like a year younger than me. He was doing that shit in high school, and it just keeps getting better. You keep seeing stuff, YPC Kappa, like, even, K-Dot, like, he got into it kind of just messing around with me, and now he's doing it full time, and it's, I guess I'm kind of drifting off the question, but I guess I really just don't compare. Like, it's like he's doing his thing, I'm doing mine. He's much more successful, but I think at the end of the day, there's more benefits to him, but I bet he loves doing it as much as me. Like, it's still a passion. Mm-hmm. That's what I look at, as I do it for me. The rest is cool, but it's an antidepressant.
So I guess you would say that since you look at it as a passion, you don't really look at it as in levels or I guess like
I would say I don't look at it like a competition. I would say it's just more of do it out of your own passion, doing it because you love it, so like I wouldn't say I'm clearly much better than this guy when, it's more about doing what you love and living your life, Yeah. It's not about, saying, oh, this guy's clearly much better than me, I'm never going to be anywhere. It's more of just about doing it because you love doing it.
Yeah. Okay. And, something I also want to point out is that I think from my standpoint as a fan or just an outsider is that it's also creativity, because something that I saw in both of you guys is that you guys just don't make one type of music, you guys make different type of music, and I think that's what makes everybody variety. Variety is what keeps everybody interested in your music, and just your music, how do I say it, like just kind of trendy, because since if you just make one type of music, then people will get bored of it. Yep. And just people will lose interest of it. So I guess my next question we'll move on to is, I know we talked about levels and people doing it for money, and I know recently we had an incident with DMW, but what's a hate comment that you received that inspired you to, instead of beating you down, do better?
Have you got one yet?
Yeah, that's kind of difficult for me because I've never really had hate comments yet, because I just started. Mainly it's been positivity, but I guess to sort of answer the question, I would say, when I first kind of mentioned the idea of starting music with a couple of friends of mine, they kind of joked about it and kind of laughed at me because they're like, oh, why you making a song? That's crazy, like that's ludicrous, that's not probable. That's not like a thing that everyone should be doing, or that's pretty stupid of you to think of that you could do it like that. But I kind of was like, man, like that hurts for sure. But I'm doing what I want to do. You do what you want to do. Let me do my thing. Let me do what makes me happy. Let me do what I enjoy doing. Let me live my life. And after I took that into consideration when I made that first song, True Love, out now, dropped a few days ago. Ever since then I've just been pushing forward, trying my best, and I guess that's my inspiration, is just to show that I'm just doing me.
Yeah, it's definitely, you've definitely been fortunate to start on the right path as far as positivity. No negativity yet in your road, but everybody crosses that once in a while, especially in the music industry. Mm-hmm. So I guess I can direct the question to you, Dylan. How do you view negativity towards your music, and how do you use it to your advantage?
So most of the time with like comments as far as on my videos, snippets, shorts, the actual song themselves, I guess I more or less like play a joke on it. Like you brought up the incident. I had someone say, "Oh, this is fire on mute," whatever. Like, first off, everyone said that about everyone. You know, like it's be original with your hate.
Yeah.
But on top of it, it's just like it says in there like I've heard some of your music, I've heard the snippets, and then follows that up. So it's like you're viewing, like you are helping me analytically,
Exactly.
and you are, in a sense, growing my channel. And I think you have, whoa, you have to be vulnerable with music to not only, like you said, like change varieties. Like you can't make a sad song if you don't feel sad.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear if it's genuine or not. You can hear if it's riding a wave or if it's really you. You know, so you got to be vulnerable in that point, and then people are gonna talk. Like he brought up the people with him. What are they doing right now?
Yeah.
You know, don't drop names necessarily, but like, what are they doing right now? It's like you went after something you wanted to do. You're doing it. You're new to it, but since you started, you've committed. It's very early. You got 2 songs, but young Phyno got some shit in the works, so stay tuned.
Yeah,
But
sure.
yeah.
And I mean, I think that's why I thought it was a good idea to bring both of you guys on the podcast, because I think that a little gradually after COVID, I think people, I think this country kind of struggled a little bit with a little bit of mental health crisis, and people going kind of a little bit antisocial. And as people started going back into society, people struggle to express their feelings in their own ways. And I think music is starting to show its, how to say it, how people use music to show their feelings and their past and their experiences and stuff like that, instead of, because I mean, I've heard from many different people, you know, I don't want to, you know, express my feelings to, you know, X person or Y person, you know, and they rather do it in this way. So I'm glad that music is being used in this way, in a positive way, instead of a negative way, and keeping the music industry in good spirits and away from negativity. I guess we'll move on to the next question. You guys can answer it in your own order. I know you guys talked about friends and their thoughts about your music journey and how you come with music, but what would you say that your family and extended family think about your music journey?
So I have a very mixed answer. I have family that don't tune in at all. You know, some older family that don't. I don't blame them. Others that could tune in, just choose not to. But I get mixed reviews. Like I've been told, oh, you write these lyrics great, but it's like, as far as performing it, it might not be your thing. Maybe you should be a writer, this and that. And then I have other family that'll bump my music in their playlist. They'll just, they'll play it in their vehicle with their friends. I think that's cool. And then, yeah, some just don't give it the time of day, and I get it, but are you too busy to listen to a 3-minute song? Yeah. It'd be one thing if it's like, that's all I'm sending, but I'm the same person that's going to check your stuff out. If you look at my YouTube descriptions, I shout out my friend's music, my brother's gaming channel, Yeah. And it's like, I'll be the first person to support what you're doing if you can take the 3 minutes to support me.
Yeah. Okay. I totally understand that. What about you?
Yeah, as far as me, I mean, you should probably know yourself, coming from a Latino background, that especially the older crowd don't really. They're very traditional. They're like, you need to work. Right. You need to to make a living, and just work, nothing but work.
Very old style.
Very old school, So I mean, as far as them, they don't really, notice it or even pay attention. My oldest brother, shout out to him. He's been shouting me out. He's trying to get me some attention.
Shared our song, yeah.
Shout out him.
Shout out him.
Shout out David. But yeah, I guess I've had a few cousins, shoot a couple texts, because I had to send it over to them, But as far as that, I mean, no one's really like hating, but at the same time, no one's really like showing me an immense amount of support besides, I guess, my brothers, That's about it, I guess.
I think that's a very important topic to touch on because, both of you guys are different cultures. You're more Caucasian and you're Hispanic, and the households may be different as far as old school and what their parents think of it. Nowadays people or parents just think about sending their kids off to college, and either forgetting about them and letting them live their independent life, or if they choose not to go to college, they have to work, 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 work. There's no time for side gigs or your dreams. And unfortunately, that's the reality of what today's life is. And it's awesome that you guys are, putting your dreams first and making it a reality.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
So I guess I'll move on to my next question. And I think this is more of a question for Dylan, just because I know you have the skills to edit music and produce music and in the beats and stuff like that. You make everything final, and you post everything up on your YouTube channel.
Yep.
What is your biggest pet peeve while making music with other people?
Lack of communication. Like, I've sent a verse to people. I've had it done. I've been told I get it done at this time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very patient. I'll wait. I'm in no rush to get it out.
Mm-hmm.
If I go without the communication, that's where I have the issue. Is like, if there's a holdup, like a couple days, yeah, take your time. Sometimes I've written songs in 2 hours. I've taken 2 weeks. Like, you might take some time or whatever, but like, I need to be aware of that so I know how to move forward. Like, it almost makes me feel like you're ducking from saying you don't fuck with the song, which I need you to be honest with me too. Don't say it's heat and then don't get out, ghost me or not. You know what I mean? If it ain't your thing, scrap it, make a new one. If it don't work out, it don't work out. Keep doing your thing. I'll keep doing mine. No love lost, but like,
Yeah, I mean, it can definitely be frustrating when people don't communicate with you all the way. I mean, both of you guys have worked with each other, so you guys, I guess, know that pet peeve. And, we know people like, K. Capone, shout out to Kitties, and people, that will follow through and obviously, communicate, what needs to be done to make a song final. But yeah, it can be frustrating. I guess I'll move on. Mile a Minute is a song that you guys just recently released together. How did that come to be?
I guess we touched on it a bit earlier, but pretty much it came down to he brought up the idea of, possibly getting into music, and I had this song kind of planned out. The second verse, not the one obviously he does the first verse. The second verse I actually ripped from a different unreleased song I had that I had no intention. I was just gonna scrap it. I had no intentions of doing nothing with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a hook for this beat and nothing else. So I was like, take this first verse. We recorded it probably 15, 20 minutes. A few mess ups here, deleted them, got back to it, and he got his verse done. It sounded good. Same thing we kind of touched on. Me and him got to get more confident. Some things sound flat, and they got to get amped up, working on it. But, yeah, it just came about with, obviously he showed confidence to come up to me. I'm not saying I'm like some big shot, but, I've been making music. Yeah. He hasn't. He came up to me and said, let's get this going. I was like, yeah. And he showed me he was serious, which I admire because I've tried to do songs with people who don't take it serious, and he did it off the jump. If he took criticism, he took the good, the bad, we redid it. I know he got a little frustrated, especially I was in there when he did True Love, actually. You guys got to check that out. It will be linked. But I was in there when he did that. I was like, do this with your voice. Let's add these ad-libs. It was a great song, but it was missing something. We figured it out. I gave him an honest review. I said it's an 8.5. I like it. It ain't perfect. I like it. Release it. It's a good song, So I think it came about because of how confident and sure of himself he was, which I admire a lot, because I was not that way for the first probably year and a half, Yeah. So it took a lot.
And I do want to point out, the song or his verse was written in or created in 30 minutes.
The recording itself was like 20.
Yeah, the recording was around 20, 25 at best. I stayed up writing the verse. I'd say the 2/3 of the verse I stayed up all night, like maybe like 3-4 hours.
But it was recorded in 30 minutes.
Yep. Just about a little under. Yeah.
I know that because I know we were in a rush to kind of get we were gonna do some activities here in the house, but and you guys were outside and you guys just literally just knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I wrote the first few like bars like 30 minutes, but not even 30 minutes, maybe like 5, just before we got in the car to leave. We were in a rush. And I was like, fuck, what rhymes with minute? So I was like, fuck, got it done.
And when I heard him say going about a mile a minute, I knew that was the title right there. We both said it in the song. Like, I knew right there, a mile a minute. That's what we're going, a mile a minute. We're getting this done. We're getting to it.
And I guess this is just a quick question to you, Dylan. Have you written a song or recorded a song in a faster time?
Written, yes.
Recorded.
Not a full solo song. Me and Katis have done like, you know, our whole project together, 18 tracks. There were some where I could record my verse in under that time because it was just the one verse, and I do have a little bit more experience with it, getting it done, you know, but a full song by myself, no. I'll mess up, get back to it, you know. I've messed up 5, 6, 7, 8 times in a row trying to figure. Sometimes I'll write it, I'll have the flow in my head, and when I'm doing it, I'll notice, I can like shorten this word, skip that, you know, kind of like change my voice mid, you know, try to do something to make it stand out. So it might take a few times for me to realize where I want to go next with it. So as far as a full song, never 20, 30 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, it takes some serious time and dedication, which is why if you're not passionate, do not do it. You're going to piss yourself off.
I remember that first time that I wrote Mile a Minute, I was like struggling to get everything together. I think the writing process took like 4 or 5 hours. Obviously recording took maybe like 30 minutes. But with the new one, True Love, I wrote it in like 2 hours, and we had it recorded probably 15 minutes. We got that one pretty fast.
Yeah, because a lot of it wasn't multiple takes either.
I had a lot of it done in one take. I think we probably took maybe at best like 3 takes.
Yeah, I know obviously ad-libs had a few takes with like getting comfortable vocally, but that's still things that are going to come in the future. You're one solo track and one feature in. And I mean it in the nicest way possible, and use it to your advantage because it's going to help. Even me too, but like, you know, me and you scaled. You are like relatively unknown. Use that to your advantage because when you pop out, you can come out with 3 different tones on 5 songs, you know? And it's like, wow, he's really versatile. People like it, you keep it up.
Yeah, that's
if someone says this is your style, maybe you go more in like that true love direction where you're like, I'm going to write about this love that, you know, had its mishaps that we're going to rekindle or not, but regardless, you know, it's there. And people are going to feel it because you feel it. If you feel it and it's real, other people are going to see that. Not everyone, but the group that supports you will see that. And there's no doubt in my mind about it. You've said it yourself. Very limited constructive criticism early on. So
it's all about just building that base and
keep that group around you because them people are rare. But also be able to point out when something's funny. Don't think it's you overreacting. Something's funny about it, address it.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything that you guys both said. And I would also like to move on to this next question. I think this next question drives us into a different portion of the podcast because it drives us into not just the topic of music, but also personal lives. So in high school is where many people choose their path of if you could say success, life, and their journey to success. In high school, was there anyone specific? It doesn't have to be a teacher, and it can be, you know, relative, you know, partner, whatever, that drove you to follow your dreams.
That one's tough. You nailed that one. And I don't know if I could lead it to... I guess if we're going outside music, we'll go outside music. And my fiance is going to love hearing this one. But, like, I had, I guess, specifically two serious, like not just quick done type thing, but like two relationships that I kind of saw something in at first. But prior to me meeting her, that's what I expected. I met my now fiance. We dated for under a year and got engaged. Everyone said it was fast, but those prior relationships showed me that I wasn't looking in the right spot. And it's not so much, I guess it taught me not to settle. Like, it gave me more self-value. And as far as like seeing how those failed, it taught me to value her more because she was so different. But then I guess in the topic of music, like I said, you get that general hate. People click on it for a couple seconds, laugh their ass off because they know you. They know me as Dylan. They see DMW, they're like, what the hell? This dude's making music. I'm just Dylan, in high school. So it's like, they're like, oh, I can't believe he's making music. And no excuses. And I know you talked a little about heritage, but like culture differences, all that, but I'm a Caucasian rapper, like there's like three mainstream, one's retired, and then I'm missing a few, but you know what I mean. It's very, very
it's
rare.
Not very like of a Caucasian to be a rapper.
Yeah, and that's I think what I get clowned most for, which I almost like to make fun of myself for it. Like that'd be a nice way to promote myself. Is I'm this Caucasian dude, and fuck, I'm better than some of your favorite rappers. But anyway.
No, use it to your advantage and have a little bit of fun with it. It's life, it's short.
Definitely have fun with it. Definitely.
If you're using it to drive yourself to follow your dreams, it's totally worth it.
What about you?
It's tough because high school was a while ago, but throughout high school, again, like I said earlier, I didn't really have too many friends, just a few real friends. I probably say my closest friend Juan, shout out Juan. He was like a huge support system through high school, because in high school it was really just me and him staying in contact, just pretty much the whole, like from freshman year to senior year. He was the only one that year after year just stayed by my side. And obviously, in like junior year I met Dylan, and we kept in touch a little bit, nothing too crazy, but I think Juan was there every year, all the time. And I think he was really the one to push me to follow my dreams, even though in high school, I know a lot of people struggled with this as well, that you don't really know what you really want to do, and you feel that pressure of you got to go to college, you got to figure out what you want to do, especially from people's parents and stuff. And I was feeling it too as well. But I made a decision to stay home and get a job, and follow what I really want to do. But obviously it took some time to figure that out. But now I have a plan laid out, and I'm trying to stick to it. And and in terms of, I guess what like Dylan said on like a music type of thing, I don't know. I think just more the support that is being shown is what really, I guess, makes me want to keep doing it, because, throughout my life I've had a lot of, I had people put me down and stuff like that. Now that I'm, putting myself out there and trying to make some music, I've had a lot of people come at me like, oh, this is fire, this is cool, like this is awesome, like I can't wait for the next one and stuff. All this positivity is what makes me happy, because at the end of the day, I just want to create something that other people will enjoy and have, if I can bring a smile to someone's face, that's me happy right there. So I guess my purpose for the music wise, I guess, is just making the people happy.
Yeah, for sure.
Can I add one more thing before we move on?
Yeah.
I think, because you touched about it in the initial question, is like, oh, you like follow your dream, you like figure out what your next path is. Mm-hmm. I think most importantly, which is kind of what me and him alluded to but didn't say directly, is you find yourself. Mm-hmm. Like that's when even if it's not what you want to do, you know who you are. Mm-hmm. So like when you see people act some type of way, like he brought up his friend Juan, it's like clear as day, freshman to senior year, he had your back. Yeah. Like he said, I met him junior year. We hung out. We had one class together. We'd hang out. We'd joke around, whatever. Yeah. Never outside of school. We rekindled after. We reconnected. We found these common interests. because we found out who we were, and it took that long to do it. Because in high school, it's not like you're being fake, but you find a persona that defines you, even if like everyone's guilty of it. You might try to, in a sense, fit in, and then it's like those are the times you look back and regret, because you're like, that's not me.
Yep.
And I think anyone listening, I know both of you, like anyone can agree with that, is like, everyone's done it and it's not you. So when you find yourself post high school, I went to college for 2 years. I did love it, but that's when my legal trouble happened, and I have student loans now. I can say confidently, while it's not my biggest, the way, not even going, but the way I handled it is one of my biggest regrets in my life, is how I handled, because it really is such a responsibility.
Yes.
There's like music paves a way to do something that's, not exactly the most conventional, but it's, you got the passion for it, and you got people like a Juan, who, we're gonna have to talk after this. I gotta see if I know who he is, but we won't do names here, but you know what I mean? Like, you gotta find people like that around you. So it's cool if you guys still do keep in touch. That's cool. If not, people distance and there's no hard feelings, but like, you gotta have people like that. And you find out who you are to match their energy, or if they can match yours.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think it's also important, like what you said, Dylan, to touch that topic about, being yourself in high school, because a lot of people find it difficult to be themselves in high school, just because, like Dylan said, they want to fit in. And unfortunately, as you go through high school, you start losing friends because people, follow other people. And unfortunately, that's how you kind of, your circle, your inner circle starts to shrink, and you find yourself in your own success. So that's how it goes. But I guess we'll move on to the next question. I know that that music was something that you guys started following into now, but was there, I know Dylan touched that he went to college for 2 years and now he has student loans, and it may be one of his biggest regrets, but as far as you, Enrique, what was one thing that you thought about besides, I guess, like, doing after high school that wasn't music or work related?
I guess early on, especially when I got to high school, I was still playing soccer all the time, and I think I was, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little heavy for my age, so I think that stopped me from playing like seriously in high school, and then obviously towards my senior year, I wanted to get back into it. I was gonna try out for the team, but then I kind of took a second to look at it logically. Soccer itself is a very expensive sport to get into, especially if you want to try and like pursue it as a dream. And I just kind of thought of it like logistically, like, man, this probably isn't the best move right now, especially with like the financial aspect of it. So that's why after high school I really struggled to find my new passion, because I'd given up on my main one that I've had for a long time. So it took a while to figure that out. I think after a year or two post high school, just working, trying to figure out myself, I think I had found a few passions of mine that I would like to pursue, and one of them being music, and yeah.
You don't always know they're there until you try them.
Yeah. The most important thing is to actually put yourself in that position to try. Like, you can't lose anything from trying.
And I think unfortunately, it is something that we are not taught in high school, that there's not just one way to success. There's multiple ways.
Yep.
And it doesn't also involve student loans, federal student loans that cost an arm and a leg. And yeah, I mean, there's different ways to success. I also do want to point out that me and Dylan graduated in the class of 2020, unfortunately during the pandemic.
Yep.
And Enrique did graduate in the class of 2021, which did see a formal graduation. And I think we both got different endings to our senior year.
Yep.
We got to see how in a time of crisis like that, a high school would react to, I guess, pushing us to success. I know personally, exiting high school, different things were moved around. FAFSA was applying to FAFSA was altered. There were some colleges wavering different things like ACT scores and stuff like that. And I personally saw that as a perfect opportunity to go to college. But once I stepped foot in it, I definitely regretted it. College is not like high school. You don't just go up to the second floor and talk to your favorite teacher and ask her for an extra day or two to turn in work. If that assignment is due that day, it is due that day. And if you fall behind, you are in deep shit.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not easy to catch back up, if any, when possible that you catch up at all. So yeah, college is definitely an investment, but also you have to remind yourself that your life is an investment in yourself. So that's, I guess, more expensive because you consume more time in that.
Thanks.
So you guys, let's move on to the next question. I want to talk about how I think we all three met. Now that we're on the topic of high school, Dylan mentioned that Dylan and Enrique met in a class, JROTC. You guys want to touch on that?
Shout out Barto.
Yes, I think anyone who had Barto can agree that Barto is great. Sergeant Barto. But I think he made class fun, and he made it interactive for, at the time, kids to meet. Like, that's how, like, we did PT Thursdays. We played dodgeball, basketball, wiffle ball, Everyone's engaged. You're putting the people on teams. It sounds cliche and corny or whatever.
Sorry. Can you guys explain what JROTC is first?
So, I don't even remember what it's like the junior something of the Corps, right? Like it, because we had the creed. It's like it's the junior version.
Junior reserve.
Junior reserve of the Corps. I could be so wrong. Honestly, I just loved him. I'm not gonna lie. He was just great.
It's a class that it's very military based. They definitely encourage you to go into the military.
Yeah, Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps.
Oh, okay. So I wasn't quite. I knew I had half of it, but not even.
And
I don't know.
I think there's 4 levels or is there 3 levels?
So I think there's 2, and then you do the ROTC, which is like the same thing minus the junior. And then I had a friend in college who did ROTC, and that's like military training, but it teaches much more than that. It teaches like discipline and like morals, like not like religious, but like as far as like personal morals, like treat people with respect, like again cliche, but treat people how you want to be treated, and like be that person someone can go to. Like I had no intention to go into the army. I signed up because it was an easy A. Yeah. Like no bullshit. Same thing, right? Yeah. Yeah, like it was an easy A.
I think you're encouraged to join that class.
Yeah. I think it's pretty well known in high school that JROTC is an easy A.
And it's like on top of it, it's no pressure. Like we never got like military pamphlets, like we learned basic like quick American little history, and we had to remember a creed. Do you remember it?
No chance.
Oh my god, it was like 8 lines. It was
pretty long.
It's like 8. It's like 8 lines. It's like I am a junior ROTC cadet.
Some other bullshit.
That's as much as we can remember.
No, regardless, like we ain't shitting on it for real. Like it's a great class for anybody. And if obviously people listening might not be super local, others will be. So you guys might not have Sergeant Barto, who is an OG, but like
shout out Barto again.
Yes,
that dude was awesome, man.
Easily my favorite, and I say quotes respectfully, teacher. Like just great guy, honestly. Like outside of teaching, just a great guy.
And not to mention, he really respected your personal like views and just the way you went about life.
And he could make something, and it's 2023 now. We talked about this off camera, but like like he could be not even controversial, but he can make a joke about something that some, the term like snowflake would take personally. Like my brother was in the class with us, and he's like, "Oh, you just got back? Were you?" And he's like, like puffing a fucking joint in his hand. And he's like, "Were you just?" Like he was funny, and then like, I'm not gonna say their name out of respect. I don't know. I'm gonna say I'm not gonna say their name, but like, we had someone who was gay in our class, and were you in that class, or was that the second year I went?
It might have been the second year.
I'm not gonna say names regardless, and I'm gonna say they because I don't know. But like it was like such like a like clean like censored but funny joke that it was okay. It's like, but I guess we got so off topic. But like the main question is, I'm gonna break the ice now. Hugo, Mr. 608 Chatterbox, is young Phyno, Enrique's brother, and I knew Hugo first. But I think I got closer with Enrique first, and then
I think what you had told me was that you didn't know him, but you kind of knew of him.
'Cause, he associated with my friends, like Chad, Garrett, Trevor, back in the day, friends, it's like, so, yeah, like I had always heard of him, I knew of him, I'd seen him around the school, but it was like, I didn't know y'all were siblings until like probably 3/4 of the way through the semester.
I think one day we were playing dodgeball, and you domed me in the face with a ball, then I domed you back, and then you domed me again. And I think on the way back to class, I was like, we were just walking back, just chilling, and I was like, hey, like, you ever heard of this guy named Hugo?
I'm like, Hugo? Like,
I was like my boy Hugo, that's my brother.
I was definitely a little shook because
I could tell you were like, Hugo? That's your brother? No way.
I know a few Hugos, and I think it was clicking that I knew exactly which one you were talking about, and that's when it actually clicked.
Yeah, I mean, I was never really, I guess, like, secluded from Dylan. I think just because in my personality in high school was I was nice to everybody, and I talked to everybody, whether you were popular or you just were an introvert. So I think that's how, I guess you could say, Dylan knew me, but we weren't close. But we definitely saw each other in different classes, the hallways, and around school. And I think, to touch the topic or the question that I mentioned earlier is that in high school, you gradually your inner circle starts shrinking, and I think that's when I kind of got regrouped with Dylan later on in high school.
We saw each other on social media quite a bit. It was a lot of sliding up because we knew of each other. It's checking in. Then it turns into, hey, like, what do you do outside of this and that? And, like, the three of us bonded through hooping. Like, none of us are great basketball players, but, we're hooping. We're getting that exercise. We're meeting people. We're bringing new people, like...
Yeah,
like, we're just getting out the damn house, like,
this routine we have going on is in my opinion, like... It's one of the my favorite things about my life right now because it's like we having fun, we're hanging around with our friends, we're getting other people involved. It's a very positive and productive thing to do.
Everything else goes away on top of it.
Yeah, because in the moment you're all about basketball, you're all about the game, and it's obviously it's a bit competitive, but it's mainly just fun.
Yeah, it's
honestly
it's always good to include everybody and to make sure that everybody around us has fun. I think that's
regardless of anything.
I think that's a hard thing that a lot of people don't really appreciate about other people is that you gotta have fun. It's not about one person having more or less. It's just about having fun.
I know you're you're leading us on and everything. Can we touch on the Mormon Church while we're on basketball?
The Mormon Church? Do you want to talk about who specifically we're talking about?
Do you want me to dive into kind of where I'm getting?
I think I'll touch on it and then I'll lead on to you.
Yeah.
So, me and Dylan, we were playing basketball. We were playing basketball at Bond Park.
Bond Park, yeah.
It was about 7 at night. It was getting pretty dark because it looked like there was a storm coming.
We were on our way out.
Yeah, it looked like there was a storm coming in. And there was this like brand new SUV that rolled up into the parking lot, and just bright lights. And Dylan was like Dylan said, he was taking his shoes off.
I had already had one shoe off and all. Yeah.
And these two guys in suits,
well dressed, yeah.
you know, dress shoes, you know, the whole 9 yards, come out and they're like, hey, you know, what they say, like, oh, do you mind if we join you? Or are you guys on your way out already? And Dylan's like, you know, it'll be quicker to put this shoe back on than take the other one off.
I was saying, yeah, I had one off and one on. It's going to be the same time. We'll hoop again.
And not thinking anything of it, we were like, you know what? Yeah, let's play them. They're in suits. You know, what? How bad could it be? Yeah. We should have ate that.
Y'all got tossed.
They beat us 10-11, first to 11.
Yeah, and they were in dress shoes, and in mind this, who was it? Hawker.
Yep.
Oh my God, that guy. He took his jacket off because I saw he got serious about it. He splashed.
Great dudes.
How many threes? Like 4?
I was gonna say at least 3 or 4 in a row.
Because
we were up at one point, like 9-2, 9-4, something.
Because the other guy, Jim.
Shout out Jimbo.
Shout out Jimbo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shout out Jim.
Jimbo's cool.
They're part of a Mormon church they teach about Jesus Christ. And obviously, we all have different religions and religious beliefs.
Yep.
So and they respect that. But they include us. They invite us to basketball every Saturday morning, and that's how it actually happened. They met us at Bond Park, and they're like, oh hey, every Saturday we play basketball. Come out. And it was that Saturday. I was like, oh my God, these guys are really good.
They had more members.
And I think it was that Saturday, or was it the following Saturday, that they explained a little bit more about the Mormon, program, how... Yeah.
The first day it was more so, we hooped, we sweated out, we had fun, we shook up, we got out. The second time, they introduced it a little more, and I think I speak for all of us when I say we're all relatively unfamiliar with specifically Mormon. So, we did like a little prayer. We hooped, we had fun, and at the end we did our prayer. And while I don't understand everything, like I took the book, and it was like, I'm like just an understanding, mutual. You're giving us the time of day to hoop. I'll give you the time of day to express your. Because I do think it's healthy to have a form of God in your life while I'm not, converting or, what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like I'm very open to prayer, in good benefit because, they're missionaries. Like they everything they say they believe and they hold truth to. When they're praying for our safety and they pray for the time they spend with us and hooping and our like protection and all that. Yeah. It comes down to whether you're religious or not. It's an appreciation. Yeah. Like, it's like, this is, like, these guys are wholeheartedly saying, like, these are our people. The drive home to my house is, like, 12 minutes. Your guy's, like, 20, 25. So it's, like, not a crazy drive by any means, but it's, like, let them get home safe. We're happy for the time we spent. Now let's, keep ourselves intact to do it again every weekend. We hoop for 2 hours a day, and it's, like Enrique said, it's like the most fun part of my life too. I'll agree. Like music is a lot. Like I love music to death, but that little 2-hour hooping break where I just get to sweat off. I work 10 and a half hour days. Like it's good to just relax. I get to we censor ourselves a little at the church or whatever, but you do genuinely get to be yourself. We're just having fun. It's competitive, but it's like if I lose, who gives a shit? We're at a church court. We're having fun. Yeah.
It's all about having fun.
Yeah. It's a cool feeling when you meet people different. Like, you can go as far as, like, man, I know you guys talked about, like, when they do their little prayer at the end, they brought up, like, respect everyone regardless of ethnicity, race, color, like, cultural like, everything, like, So it's like, I do see a lot of variety where I'm from, you know, Beloit, and then in Janesville, you know, I see a lot too. So it's cool to meet people of all sorts of everything,
Yeah.
you know. And while it's not the most diverse place in the world, like, you know, like you hear other artists come up and they're from, you hear a lot of like the street rappers, you know, they talk about where they're from or whatever, but then you get like the country one, or not out of the country ones, like a Rema, you know, like Rema, he's Nigerian, I think. Nigerian. But like it's cool like when he comes to the States and he does all this and you see everyone there. I don't understand most of the words, but it's vibey, you know, like it's fun.
Yeah, I want to bring up something that I think you told us last week or this past week that we went. That you try really hard to stop vaping while we were there, and on the way back you said that it gives you when you're playing the basketball, it gives you enough of a buzz that you just like you're in the moment, you forget about it, and like that it gives you the juice. It gives you the juice. You want to elaborate on that?
So ironically enough, for most people, not the case. You know, people vape, whatever, have fun. That's probably one of my biggest demons right now. I've vaped probably 25, 30 times throughout this podcast, and it's like, yeah, when I play basketball or I hang out, you know, I'm doing my thing, I don't think twice about it. And then as soon as I'm done, it's like it comes back up, and it's something I want to quit so bad. Like I'm saying, when I was in elementary school, I was all with like the Nike programs, like the nicotine is kid's enemy, corny as shit. But like my dad always smoked. My grandpa died of lung cancer, you know, like it's like a lot of personal shit comes from it, and then I turn to it, and no excuse, do not vape if you don't already. If you do, try to stop. It's hard, I get it, but you know what, I'm being real for a second, like it's like it's tough because I turned to it in a time where I thought it was needed, and all it's done is add more stress and anxiety. And it's like, what if I don't stop? How many years have I've vaped for 3.5-ish years? How many years have I cut off already?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like my biggest fear is my parents burying me before I do them. You know, it's sad, but that's how life works. You know, you're supposed to bury your parents. It's not supposed to be vice versa.
Yeah. No, man. I mean, I hope that you see this in me too. But I try to be inspirational in my own way, and it's good that we're talking about vaping because I can't smoke or drink right now because I recently had a pulmonary embolism. But I see not just old classmates, but you know, other friends. You know, they battled their demons, not just drinking, but also smoking too. And I also try in my own way to battle my own demons without that. I want to say try, but I have to in this way, and I try my best to use it to my advantage to show other people that you don't need that stuff to battle your demons and to go through day-to-day life. And you know, I think everybody's achievement that they're trying to achieve is success, and you know, every day's part is difficult, and you gotta get through one way or another.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Like for me, I mean, you touched on it a little bit too, Dylan. That a lot of it for the music wise, that's how at least partially we deal with our problems a little bit too, because that's just some of the stuff we talk about is, you know, we never like to, you know, fabricate anything. We like to talk about what we're really going through, because then that's just what makes it so real. You know, that we're talking about what we've been through. You know, that's it helps us in a way, or at least on my part, it helps me kind of deal with it in a way to just kind of get it out there. You know, and especially, you know, as for me on my part, I don't drink, I don't fucking smoke or anything, but you know, I deal with my problems on my own, and it is tough, yes, 100%. But it's, in my opinion, I think it's better than to sip a bottle or two when I'm feeling down, or
Yeah, I know people make it seem easy to just do that, but there's people like me that try to show the positivity and not doing that stuff. So.
Well, people need more Hugos.
more Hugos and more Jimbos.
I'll say when you talked about very, very briefly your back issues and but like you got to do almost like a draw my life. Like let the people know this is not even no soft shit. You're a great person. Like don't you're not bullshitting me like me and him ain't bullshitting in what we say. Like if you think that I'm capping in my music, all I can say is good. Some of the topics I touch, if you believe I'm capping, I want you to believe it. Stick to that. Stick to it. If that's what you believe, stick to it. Because I touched some things that I probably shouldn't with I'm just going to say terms and leave it there, but I touch on things I shouldn't. And it's real life though, Like I would rather speak on how I feel. Like I've said this, 5-10 minutes into the podcast, like be real and be passionate about what the fuck you say. Otherwise, don't do it. If you're doing it for clout, you're going to get exposed. You see rappers do it all the time.
Yeah. And I think that's why rappers end up getting killed. And unfortunately,
I agree.
Hurt. Yeah. Because, I think it's a tough topic to touch just because more often than not, there's people out there that act hard and think that you gotta act hard, regardless if you're rapping or not.
Shout out John Morant.
To act like that you're bigger than somebody, and unfortunately that gets you into trouble. Like you brought up John Morant.
That's what you said. I didn't hear what you said.
What did he get suspended for? How long did he get suspended for? 25 games?
I think he's out for at least a quarter this season.
They're saying at least a quarter to half the season.
Yeah, just for waving around a gun. What was it, twice?
Yeah, and then he tried to prop it off as a toy gun. But I hope he gets help, all seriousness, because like when you hit that limelight, let it go. Like I couldn't even directly credit you to the right source, but I swear I've heard this, but like real rapper, like full mainstream, but like T Grizzly, half of his, you hear his music, you know what he talks about. Mm-hmm. He said that like it's what you've gone through. So what he's speaking on isn't false. It's what he has previously went through. He served his sentence. I think he said like 30 months or something. That's like it's over 2 years, I think. If it's 30 on the dot, that's like 2.5 years. Like he served his sentence and he did his shit, but like you can talk about what you'd previously. There's a song by him I really like. If you guys haven't heard it, it's called "Quit Trappin'"
by T Grizzly.
Yeah, where he talks about like he was doing all this shit so young. So it's like I'll admit everything I've said doesn't apply to today because I've caught my charges and I've I'm trying to wait. It was I'll just say it for the podcast, whatever, they don't know. It's drug charges, and it's like it was a quick way. Like I talked about regretting college. That's how I paid for school. I was paying $13.26 a month. So it's like that. For some people, that's affordable, and make me sound broke, whatever. But I paid that every month for 4 months per semester. So, I owe $12K back. Plus, I already paid that, and I went to a private school in northern Wisconsin. So it's like I was a bit of a nerd back in high school, but I also knew what I was doing as far as everything else. But again, keep a little quiet on that. But it's like people have different routes to everything, and it's like I can speak on prior things without getting in further trouble. Like I'm trying to correct things, and I want to get to a point where my music is the today me, what I go through, like I outside of music, as far as getting money and getting financials, I work my ass off, like I'm putting in hours. I do very physical work, so it's like I'd love to get to a point where I can be like, not even like as authentic, but like more. Because I talk about a lot of prior things because it fits the genre,
Yes.
but I've never said no bullshit in a song. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to say what's happened, what is, like I've done different songs. Like you said, versatility. I've done different shit. And like Phyno's the same way here. Like, he did Mile a Minute. We're talking our shit or whatever. First track he drops is a straight love song about a girl he genuinely has feelings for. He let his heart out. He said what he had to say, and it's like, it's real. Regardless of what you say, if what you're saying is real, people are going to read right through you. So like if I like you might hear a select like gun reference in my songs, correct? Like you've probably you've heard my music,
Yes.
You guys, yeah. So like you all like Steph Curry for my most recent little 5-track EP, Oblivious. Like I said, "Lil bro, keep a 30 on him tucked." I call my bro Steph Curry. I am on terms that I cannot hold a firearm. It is very specific. I have people that I know who do that type of shit. And while I stay away, I can't ignore the fact.
Yeah, you just blatantly just
Yes.
rap cap.
You will not hear me say like, I got this on, I got that. Like I've said, I used to flip I've said all sorts of shit in songs that is very previous, but still relatively. I've been alive 21 years. This happened a year ago. It's still very recent. Like I'm.
And that's a very important piece to becoming not just a successful rapper, but just a rapper in general, because like I said previously, it can get you into a lot of trouble.
Yeah, like just be real. Don't speak on shit you don't know.
And yeah, not just that, but also speak on, shit that actually matters. Just don't talk out of your ass to act like you're somebody else.
Yeah, don't
or
be
somebody
you ain't.
harder.
Yep.
All right, gentlemen. As we wrap up this podcast, unfortunately,
No, it's been great.
I have a last big question for both of you. I know a lot of people that listen to you guys' music are probably listening to this podcast right now. What is next for DMW and Young Phyno?
I'm letting Phyno go first.
Right now I am currently in the process of writing a few things, trying to get my songs out there just so I can have, a few songs to boost my confidence and to get, you guys listening. And in the works, I do have a mixtape that I'm working on right now. Trying to get a few songs together for that, a few features, shout out Bentley Pronto, my boy. Trying to get him on a song. DMW is about to hop on that bitch. Fucking hopefully K-Dot hops on that bitch.
Oh my god, K-Dot's really good.
Shout out K-Dot. He's really talented. I really like his music for sure.
I think we gotta get him back to Beloit, man. We gotta get him.
He's hopping on that bitch. I promise you, he's hopping on that bitch.
And
I'll say it now.
As far as that, after the mixtape, and you never know, maybe in the future we'll work on a DMW Young Phyno collab album. You never know.
That's all I needed to hear.
No, we gotta get K-Dot here as a guest on the podcast. That's what we gotta do.
I'm saying, if y'all don't know K-Dot, I think he was initially 6th block, and then he came here. Like, I used to live a couple blocks from him. The first song me and him ever did was Frenemy. Mm-hmm. Like, I was a sophomore, junior in high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like, literally. And we did that song. It was his first song ever. And he killed it, and that was before my expensive mic. We were on a $15 microphone. Mm-hmm. And it was great. Like, my old shit, I'll be fair, I was like Reddit subbing, like I was going on all these pages, which is why my views are so stagnant. Like my old shit is in the thousands. My new shit, couple hundred, but it's because I want that local crowd. And
you want the real crowd.
Yeah, and like, I don't want to say maybe it's a part of me that got lazy, but I want to see what I'm like to the outside world without the exposure. Yeah. And it sounds bad, but it was my philosophy when I started, and I've kind of stuck to it. Mm. But I guess to further answer your question, I got a lot of shit in the works right now. I post snippets here and there of some shit. I ask y'all to rate it. And I do a few random snippets. I've had some Madden gameplay. posted my fiance's dogs, and it's almost at 2,000 views.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, it's at 1.8 last time I checked, 1.8K.
Wow.
But I'll post the random shit too, get some new people in, whatever, get a few subs. And yeah, like as far as music though, I if any of y'all are interested in my videos, I know the channels will be linked in the description, but as far as my channel goes, I leave all my like business inquiries, email, Snap, Instagram, and maybe Facebook. I have like 3 to 4 options. Hit me up on. I've had people do it before. While I'm talking, I'll even pull up my IG and I'll shout out somebody who has hit me up personally. But like, yeah, I love to communicate with you guys. And as far as music, I am working on some new shit. I have a full project in the making. But I actually had a producer hit me up. His Instagram is produced by Drum Drop. The name's Matt. Description: music producer, home of the Sheck West type beat. He's got like 6 videos, low following, but like check him out, give him some love. He hit me up personally first, and he was like, he quoted one of my songs and said, "That's a message right there. Keep going." I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Like I have local people tell me like, "Oh, keep doing what you're doing. Strive for this. Like, your songs are." Like this sounds crisp. It doesn't sound like nothing's edited out. Like I'm gonna shout him out. I don't even know if he'll see this. I'm just gonna keep it real. But like,
go ahead.
Radonis from high school, like he's texted me. He said, "Hey, I'm gonna pull up the message. I'm sorry. I love to keep it.
Great.
No, I love to keep the shit real when like I have these genuine feelings of like, these people really got me. So like, although he might not see this specific podcast, I know he's giving me feedback. He said, "I'm gonna listen to it." I said, "Let me know what you think." He said, "You popped your shit and rode the beat. Everything flowed. Nothing sounded choppy. Keep the shit up."
Yeah.
And that's an at the time that was Steph Curry, but at the time it was an unreleased audio. He doesn't even count as a view or nothing. And he's like, that feedback means everything to me.
Yeah.
But as far as music, I will be posting snippets. Check it out. We'll link the description. But continue to check out this podcast for real. Me and Young Phyno will feature on it as much as possible. Hugo will have some, some like
future guests.
Yeah, he'll have some featured guests. He'll have like some special promotions. And I swear, the more y'all get to know him, you will fall in love with him from a personal perspective. Like, he really is like. He is like a great guy. Like, I could say this if he's not around or if he is, whatever. Like, personal level, he's a great guy. Very genuine in what he says, and that's why I hang out with him. I've said everything I've said this far has been real. I've been vulnerable and I've been straight up. I'm going to keep it real. Cut the fucking people off who you feel move weird, and keep the people around you that are around you. Young Phyno said Juan is his example. Me and Hugo connected late, and now I consider him and Enrique like my 2 best fucking friends. I've known them less time than I've known closer at the time people around me, but I'm like, fuck it, I go off vibes. I could know you for half a year if you're giving me the energy I'm giving and you're matching it. Like it's me, K-Dot, Hugo, and Young Phyno here. Like, it's real. Like, I'm not gonna bullshit shit about it. If we have an issue, we're gonna address it one-on-one. It ain't going public. I've had issues with people I like, and you can resolve it. But if one issue cuts you off, you ain't for me. You know what I mean? Like, I can be a mature enough person while talking my shit. But as far as I got so off topic, but as far as music, I got some new shit for you, and I promise you on this new project, Young Phyno will be on it. No doubts about it.
Oh, man.
I'd damn near get Hugo on it, but but no, thank you for having us for real. Like, this has been great.
I mean, you damn near made us pull out the tissue boxes there.
No, this is great.
But yeah, guys, again, this is the 608 Chatterbox. Hopefully I'll have this episode out soon, and future episodes to come out soon to come. Appreciate you guys.
Bro. Let's get this shit.